Hello, hello, and welcome to our pre-recorded version of Technique Talk Tuesday. This is our February 28th, 2023 edition, the last for February. So today we are going to talk about distress embossing glazes, and we are going to color some of these chipboard images. These are the Ideology chipboard images. They're like the paper dolls, except they're on chipboard. These are just easier to do for the demo because I can hold on to them. This technique will work on, the paper dolls or any of the images that you want to add color to. So this is what we are going to be doing. We're adding the distress embossing glaze to these images, and what's fabulous about them is that they make them look like the old vintage photos, but they're colored. So you can see there that you can actually see the image through the embossing glaze. So that's really fun. All right, so those were just a couple of samples. We're gonna go ahead and do one here. Got this little girl, and we are going to use the Distress Embossing pens. There is a bullet tip. You can see here, a bullet tip for some detail, and a brush tip. The brush tip is usually what I use because the area is a little bit bigger. But what we are going to do with her is use antique linen for the main part of her dress, and then we're going to do her sash and the flowers. So I want to just show you how easy this really is, and we're going to just jump right in here. So I'm going to open my embossing powder just so it's ready. And I'm using a piece of paper so that we can catch all the extras and we don't waste that. But what I'm going to do is color her dress, except for the sash and the flowers. And then I'm going to put the powder on. And I'm going to do a little bit at a time just so that the powder, or the ink on the pen doesn't dry. You can, and I'll show you this, go back in and touch up where you've missed, and also add an extra layer where you might want to show like a fold in a fabric or some dimension, so that you can get an extra layer. So that's the top part of her dress, and then we're going to go ahead and color down here the bottom. I'm going to touch up that little part that I missed on her sleeve. Go around the flowers here. Sorry, I always want to be really quiet when I'm coloring, so I can't do, it's like not being able to chew gum and walk at the same time. No talking and coloring. All right. So what's nice about the embossing pen is that you can get the powder exactly where you want it to go. It gives you a little bit more control over where your ink actually goes. All right, so that's what it is going to look like before I'm gonna wipe off the shoes there. Before we get her heated up, I'm going to use the Handle It tweezers, and I'm gonna go over here and heat this up so I don't blow that embossing powder all over. It heats up really fast. So this should just take a second or two. Almost. All right, and this is the first go around. I'm going to let it cool for a minute, and then I'm going to fill in all those little places, and I'm going to put a little bit of extra right where that fold was, so it could have a little bit of extra dimension. I'm going to put, I'm making a mess. See, that is why we have a double layer of paper, because I have been really struggling today. So I am just being super cautious. So, all right, let's fill in these little spots that we missed and put a little bit more right there. There are other ways that you can, you know, add more powder too, and we'll go over some of those. We're going to probably do 2 or 3 different techniques with the Distress glaze because they are absolutely so much fun. Just a different way that you can get some color on your images here. And I am going to put this away so that I can show you what it happens while it's heating up. I know you guys like to see the magic too. Watch the magic happen. And it's that quick to fill in those spaces. All right, now we are going to do the sash and her bow in Tattered Rose. So let's get her sash colored here and her bow. You can do her hair, you could do her skin. We're not going to do that much today just because we're just demoing, but I am going to do the flowers to show you how awesome that looks. Oh, geez. See, the whole reason that I put that there was because I was struggling and I lifted both pieces of paper up. Dang it. All right. We'll clean that up later. It's just been one of those days, friends. All right, and there's her sash and her bow. And then I am going to just take some of this is the fossilized amber. And I'm going to use the bullet tip. Oops, that's not the bullet tip. That's the brush tip. Use the bullet tip and color the flowers in here. Put a flower over there. Get that yellow on there. I like to make sure that I close up the pens just because I don't want my pen to dry out. And you can see we missed a little bit over here and over here. I'm actually just gonna dip that right in there. All right, and then we'll get these flowers done, and then we'll do the leaves, and she will be ready to be added to a mixed media project, to an assemblage project, to a page, to any kind of project that you're using an image that you want to look vintage, but colored. All right, then the last little bit will be the green, and this is the peeled paint. All right, so we've got the leaves, and I'm going to use the bullet tip again to get this greenery here. And I'm kind of making it up because it's the image isn't super clear. I mean, you do know that it's flowers that she's holding, but there might even be a bow on there. I don't know. We'll get some green on there. And voila. Isn't she fun? Little girl was all black and white and now she's all colorful. Looks like an old colored photo. You could even use this tattered rose for skin color if you were working on some of the male figures that are in the paper dolls, because their suits are dark. So, you know, the color might not show up as much on those, but definitely on their skin. There's dogs and things that you can do too. So this is just one really fun technique that you can do on black and white images to bring them a pop of color, on the paper dolls, on these chipboard dolls, on the photo booth, on all of those things, even on black and white photographs. You have to be careful on photographs though with the heat, because you might bubble your picture. So be careful if you're trying that on a photograph. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us and watching this replay. We'll be back next week with another fun demo using these distress embossing glazes. Have a great night, everyone.